Welcome to another Good e-Reader video review. This is Marcus.
And this is Peter.
And today we're going to give you a full review of the Kobo Vox e-reader. We did an interview with Michael Serbinius, CEO of Kobo, and we gave you sort of the worldwide exclusive hands-on. This is the retail version, so we're going to dive a little bit deeper. We've installed a bunch of custom apps like the Amazon Android app, the Nook Android app, a comic book reader, and a ton of other things. So we're going to kind of show you how all those apps look on the Kobo Vox, and along the way we'll share some insights with you. In terms of hardware, it's 7 inches, Wi-Fi. It has a resolution of 1024 by 600. It is multi-touch, and it is using the same type of anti-glare screens that airline pilots use. 800 megahertz, a Freescale processor. 512 MB RAM, 8 gigs of internal storage, and you can increase this up to 32 gigs via the micro SD. There's plenty of other specs, but you can check out our full written review. It regales you with all that type of stuff. With this review, we just really want to dive right into the unit and show you everything that you need to know.
Nothing special as you look on the outside. Kind of a standard layout. Screen in the middle, no border. It's flush with the side here, so there is no border like the Nook color. It is piano black on the outside. They say anti-glare, and they're doing as good as a job as you can with capacitive, but you do still get some glare, as you can see from our studio lights. You have 3 software-driven buttons at the bottom. They're not actually physical click buttons. They are software-driven. There's back, menu, and home. On the bottom, you have a micro USB and a 3.5mm headphone jack. On the left side, you have your micro SD slot, upgradable up to 32 gigs, volume up and down. On the top, you have the power button and the speaker. Then on the right, you have nothing. The back kind of has this Kobo padded, quilted back, as they call it. Hard to get some glare there. There you go. You can see the quilted back. They've been using that ever since the regular Kobo. And the screen itself, as Marcus had said, is a 7-inch screen. So yeah, nothing is, I wouldn't say cookie cutter just yet, because it does look a little bit different, and this is being billed as an e-reader, not a tablet. So I know there's a lot of people saying, where's the camera, where's all that? Well, it isn't a full-fledged tablet. It is an e-reader first and foremost.
Yeah, exactly. The Barnes & Noble Nook Color doesn't exactly have a camera, and a lot of people weren't really complaining about that. So let's dive right into it. Form factor, it really looks like a lot like the Samsung Galaxy Tab, the original 7-inch model. The quilted back that you saw on this was actually a different style of quilt than what you've seen on a Kobo Touch or Kobo Wi-Fi. It's a brand new type of quilted back. I think it looks a little bit more sleeker than previous models. This is the home screen, and you see the books here are the last few books that we've opened up. You see web browser, Facebook, Gmail, as well as various other types of things. So diving into it right away, some screens do take a while to load. We've noticed that the keyboard is a little bit unresponsive, but once you get past that, it's solid. Live wallpapers, you can put your own. Sorry.
I can cut it. It's okay. Keep going. I just wanted you to handle it because you've been experiencing it. Right?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
live wallpaper. So start before live wallpapers. So say live wallpapers. You can put your own.
Okay, so there's 5 screens here. You can put your own live wallpapers, your own, everything else on it. You can see that we have our Facebook news feed, favorite friends. It comes bundled with radio, press reader, and Zinio. So Zinio is good for magazines, press reader is good for purchasing newspapers, and radio is good for music. This is first and foremost being billed as a straight up e-reading tablet, and so it's kind of refreshing to see this. Let's click on some of the apps here on library, and we'll kind of give you a walkthrough on everything that entails here. Your main library shelf, you see here we have purchased a book, Lee Child, The Affair, and numerous other books that have come for free on the device. Kobo is now selling cookbooks and children's books, so you can they've now pushed an update to the store where you can do that. So here's an example of a children's book. As you can see, it does take a few minutes to load up, but once it does, here you go. You can pinch, you can zoom, and let's check out some of the options here. You could share the Facebook, check out your notifications, so that's for reading life. You also have your settings here, so these are your default reading settings. Because this is like embedded, you can't really change like the font size or anything like that with children's books, but you can change the brightness. So pump that up to the max, and there you go. So it does read a lot of these books in landscape and portrait mode, but I did notice that on the main screen here it doesn't go to landscape and portrait, so it's just within books. So that was an example of a kids book. Some of the kids books actually have text to speech functionality, so you can actually have these books read to you. Here's an example of a new cookbook, and this is a free one that's loaded in your device. You can just simply like double tap to check it out. These sort of books look good in landscape mode, but that looks pretty yummy, hey?
It does indeed.
So you can just zoom into the extreme.
I think we're going to have this on our lunch break here.
Yeah. It's like, ooh, that looks like a raisin. And so same thing with like these sort of things. These are EPUBs, but this is like a different style of EPUB, so it has like fixed fonts and everything like that. Let's check out sort of what like a novel looks like. Kind of give you an example of a fiction book. So here's a new book, Lee Child, The Affair. Again, like I said, you do notice that it does take a little while for it to catch up, but once it's all loaded up, page turn speeds are relatively quickly. So you can see here's my reading life achievement. I've started reading a new book. Just it doesn't have physical page turn buttons, so you just want to tap the sides. So here we go here. Let's hit the settings menu. Now this is where you have like a little bit more options to do different things. So we can do things like we have a word highlighted here. We can highlight it. So it's highlighted. I've earned an award just for doing that, which is very excellent. So also you can highlight like entire things. I can add a note. Save it. And there you go. So I got a new achievement for that too. Seem to be on a roll, as it were. So I'm gonna hit the settings menu again. You can change the fonts. So fonts display reading. You can just increase the font size by like a scalable bar. Press done, and you can see that it increased the font size. So it doesn't have different levels, but it does have like a sliding scale.
Exactly. Like most e-readers and e-reader tablets you see, they have small, medium, large, and so forth. This actually has 42 levels of size depending on where you slide it on that slider bar. So huge customization with the font size.
You could see that there's a number of fonts here. You can also load in your own fonts. There's going to be a firmware update that allows you to load in your own fonts. With the Vox, it's the same type of functionality that the Kobo Touch has, where it allows you to straight up load in your own font. So if you like Times New Roman, or if you're a fan of Arial bold, things like that, you can go for gold, as it were. Let's check out what more has. So you have your social reading. So this is where you would turn Kobo Pulse on or off. And we're going to show you Pulse right now. So this is Kobo Pulse. This is one of my favorite features behind the Kobo Vox. Kobo Pulse basically is a social activity used to gauge a lot of different, comments incorporating a lot of features from different sites. So it is Facebook integration. So you do have to Facebook connect to Pulse in order for it to work. And you see here that we have our little Goody Reader icon there. And if we were to click on that, we can check out our Facebook profile. You can see a lot of other users here that don't have, pictures and stuff. But you can see here that this book has been read 742 times, 13 comments, 1 likes, 2 dislikes. You can click here to get to do spoilers. So this is comments that everyone has made. So you can either make it so you only see comments that were left up until the point of your reading. So if you're in chapter 3 and you hide the spoilers, you won't see spoilers saying, oh, so the end of the book, this is what I thought. You would only see comments made before the 3rd chapter. So I think that that's pretty cool because you won't have people like ruining the ending or, the type of trolls and things like that ruining the experience. So you can see here various comments. It's almost like YouTube-esque where like you can vote up and vote down things. So that's kind of neat. You could leave comments in real time. Hi from, I'm just going to put down hi. And there's the comment that we just wrote. And you could leave comments upon comments and things like that. So you can see here people are leaving, numbers and things like that. People just experimenting with it. So Kobo Pulse will be upgraded to iOS, Android, and to the Kobo Touch e-readers. So if you read Kobo on your iPad or your Android phone or Android tablet, Pulse will have integration probably by about the end of the year. Michael Cervinius said, CEO of Kobo. So this is Pulse. I kind of dig it. I think it makes reading, which is normally more of a solitary activity, and it puts a social spin on it. So I'm hoping to take advantage of that more. So your library has a few different shelves here. You can I don't really know yet if you could make your own collections and things like that, but let's check this out here. So you can import content. So search your memory card. And here are things. So these are books that I had on the Barnes & Noble app. So let's try importing these. So we're now importing these books. It may take a few minutes. And this will be a good test because if we have books on your local memory, or books on SD, aka books that you've sideloaded on your device, we're going to experiment and see that if Kobo Pulse will recognize books that were either purchased from other stores, like the books we're loading now, where 2 of them were purchased from Barnes & Noble and another 2 were just on our device's memory. So here's the 4 books that we loaded on our device. You can see that they don't have cover art, so hopefully this would be something that Kobo will fix in a firmware update. But these are the 4 books. It doesn't really look like Kobo Pulse is recognizing them. So this could be partly because it doesn't have support for side-loaded books or books grabbed stores, but it just could be that because this device just came out that it hasn't been recognized like on Pulse yet. But I would have figured you would have seen a little Pulse icon here. So I would say that Pulse probably right now doesn't support side-loaded books or books imported from Amazon or Barnes & Noble purchases. Speaking of Barnes & Noble and Amazon purchases, we were able to side-load on apps, and this is really good for people that want a little bit of diversity in their experience. So we were able to load in the Amazon Kindle app as well as the Nook app. So these are the versions customized for Android. Not really any pinching and zooming features, but if you're experienced at all, you can change the font size. You can change the background. So some people were asking us, does do these apps support this sort of thing for reading at night, or maybe people with dyslexia? Yes, you can change the color, and of course you can change the brightness as well. So it's the full experience. So what we're going to do on the Good e-Reader blog is we're going to actually put together a post called the Kobo Vox Toolkit, and we're going to have links and direct downloads for all of the major e-reading, comic book, and a whole lot of apps. So if you want Kindle, if you want Nook, why browse the internet? You can just go visit our site and search for that title of the post, and it should be on our front page if you're watching this video anytime for the next few days. So this is the Amazon app, and we also have loaded in the Barnes & Noble Nook app. This is all just proof of concept, just to show you guys that this works. So if you do business with these companies, you'll be right at home with the Kobo Vox. So I'm gonna load this book. And so this Pride and Prejudice, this was one of the books that we had actually imported into the Kobo library, but it didn't have cover art. But as you can see, this book did have cover art. So same sort of experience. You know, you have your full notebooks. Looks like we had some kind of cool page turn animations there. You have all your settings that you can do. Page themes, line spacing, margins, justification, brightness, and everything like that. So also turn pages on this little slider bar here. We kind of jumped up like a few hundred pages, so things were relatively slow, but we are good to go. But you can see with imported books, they don't retain the cover art, so it's a small little drawback. Let's check out the Kobo store, and we can kind of see how it looks on the Vox, if there was any types of changes or anything like that. So this waiting for menus to load kind of irks me sometimes.
That is an abnormally long load screen for one menu.
Yeah. You'd figure they would cache some of this stuff like in memory. What we've noticed is, I'll get to that in a minute, but you can see new releases. Steve Jobs' book is very popular right now. You can browse by popular categories, New York Times bestsellers, nonfiction, things like that. So I hit the settings menu. Not very many options there in terms of like genres and things like that. Let's see all. Okay, so a lot of the things that were just released in terms of like novels and stuff like that. Gonna go back to store home. Yeah, so far some of the cons is this device isn't shipped with flash. Screens take a while to load. When you first open content for the first times, it is rather slow, but hopefully this would be addressed soon. I don't really see any categories here for children's books or kids books. And Kobo said that they would be turning it on this Friday. Maybe they have not yet. Maybe they have genres here at the bottom. So we're gonna check this out. Yep, doesn't look like it. So it doesn't look like Kobo turned on cookbooks, children's books yet, but all this stuff should be on probably within the next few days. So we'll do a quick follow-up video and let you know how it does. Okay, so we've shown you the home screen. We've shown you the major programs. One of the last elements that really make this kind of a neat e-reader is Reading Life. It monitors like total read time, books you're currently reading, pages turned. I'm averaging 503 pages an hour. It has two options here. So if you click here, or scroll rather, you can see some of the achievements and rewards. The ones in color are awards you've earned. the ones that are grayed out or are awards that you still need to do. Tells you a little bit about what they are and how you've earned them. You can update the firmware. You also have like a lot of other programs, Globe to Go, everything on here, but the Nook and Kindle Reader app came on here. We had to install our own file manager. Surprisingly enough, the Vox didn't come with like Easy File Explorer or Astral File Viewer. So again, we'll include links to all these apps in our Kobo Vox toolkit. You can read comics with Droid Comic Viewer, although this version that we had was actually crashing a lot, so I don't really want to load that up right now. You can check out videos and audio, so Peter here is going to show you all about that.
All right. So when you're using Android, obviously all you have to do is drop all your multimedia in the root of the device, because applications such as file managers will be able to browse the entire SD card, what have you, because, well, it's much like your computer where you have all these directories. So we have a stock footage of just some generic background. I think it's a mountain range, Yosemite. So just to give you an idea how video looks on the device.
Yes. So again, 1024 by 600 is the resolution that you're getting.
And you do see some lagging because, well, it isn't a full-fledged tablet. It doesn't. I think it has 800 megahertz. So given it being an e-reader with a color screen, it is very good. But yes, you will see a little bit of lagging, falling behind here and there.
Okay, let's check out how pictures and things like that look on it, just to give an indication on color, features, how rich things look.
So here's a picture. Once again, I will turn this to landscape. There you go. Took a little bit of time, but it got the job done. I'm not sure what's going on with the size here. And it looks like I can move it. Not sure why. So
can you pinch and zoom?
I can indeed. Looks like the picture viewer is very slow. Very slow. You gotta maybe give it a second to catch up as you do things. And I want to go to the next picture.
Maybe try the settings. Yeah, so it seems that the picture viewer aspect on this device is very weak. So I would probably not recommend using this to, be a photo frame or to, look at a bunch of family vacation photos.
Exactly. I agree. It does look like it changes in portrait mode a little bit, but beside the point, you can see that the colors are very nice. You're not getting a lot of oversaturated colors or undersaturated colors. They're very colorful. The brightness is perfect. The screen doesn't really wash the colors out at all. So all in all, the pictures come out well when it works. So although you can pinch and zoom, you must be patient because it is an e-reader first and a multimedia device second.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so just to sum it up, we've really kind of looked at all the core features that make the Vox, and of course you can load in your own apps by sideloading them either on the device memory by plugging into your PC laptop, or you can use the GetJar market. So it's pretty well kobo.getjar.com. So if you want to check out what type of apps they have available, I noticed that there really wasn't a lot of File Explorer apps. This one I've never heard of before. I tried looking for ES or Astro and I couldn't really find it, so I got kind of really frustrated there. So the app stores are lacking, but you can load in, the Amazon App Store. It doesn't support the Google Android market, and this is something that we tried to load in, but it wouldn't. So bear in mind. I mentioned before that this device does not ship with Flash, but what we did is we actually loaded in Flash ourselves. And of course, Flash will be in the little toolkit that we offer. So let's check out bookmarks, and let's check out an archery game that we have. It's just like interactive little thing. So this is a Flash game, so you can see it does have like full support, and it is loading. So I guess I probably pressed like the wrong button. Now this is something that I see a lot, and this really frustrates the hell out of me. You can only have like 8 windows open, and there's really no way to like by default close them.
We've had that happen in the short while. This did come out today. In the short while we've had this, it's done that about 3 times already.
Yeah, it seems as though that when you close the web browser and open it again, there's really no way for you to be able to like have tabbed browsing. It's like every time you open up the web browser, it does it like as a totally like new window. It doesn't open up previous windows that you did. So let's try putting this in landscape and see if this makes a bit of a difference. So you can see that this certainly version of Flash is not optimized, but it does have Flash on it. You can see that it's harsh lagging. I think that that's probably because we have a lot of other windows open, and we do have Flash going in the other windows as well. So yeah, it's really, this is like the most frustrating thing. So it is a situation easily remedied. There is a way when you have the web browser open that you can press the settings menu. You can click on Windows, and it looks like it closed them all when it crashed. So and it did crash. So
But that would be a way that you can close the windows. If there's too many open, you go to Settings, Windows, and press the X button beside the ones you don't want to be open.
Right. So standard WebKit browser, you have all of your settings here. You can pretty well see them for yourself. You can watch YouTube videos. So right out of the box, we were able to watch embedded YouTube videos. But yeah, in order to like do a lot of Flash content, a lot of sites like media sharing sites and file sharing sites, they all have Flash in order to utilize them. So long story short, you can load Flash in yourself. You can load all the apps you want, all the different app markets, but the Google official market. And this was just an overview of what you can expect out of the new Kobo Vox e-reader, in particular preference to the entire ebook experience, as well as being able to not just do business with Kobo but with other companies as well. So stay tuned to other videos. We're actually going to compare the Vox with the Nook Color, so stay tuned to our YouTube channel for that. Our YouTube channel again is youtube.com/user/goodereader, or you can check out all the latest news on e-ink, e-readers, tablets, and everything else at goodereader.com and for goodereader.com. My name is Marcus.
And this is Peter.
Everybody take care.